So wide receiver, we always start with our stacks. Keep an eye on Julio. Obviously, Julio is going to be the lowest owned he's ever owned this week, even if he does play, because people are going to fear the injury. And I fear the injury. We talk about that all the time here, but I think this is a rare case where if Julio Jones is playing in a week that Matt Ryan has a chance to go off, and he's going to be lower owned, you got to have him in a good chunk of your lineups in your tournaments. So I like Julio Jones. I don't really love either of the other Falcons receivers in a stack. I'd be more apt to go with Ryan and take a shot with Tevin Coleman in a stack, or even go stackless and beef up at other receivers, which is rare for me. But I do love Julio in that stack if he plays. Tyler Gabriel, has had some huge plays. But you're going to get those points with Ryan, and he's not going to catch 8 or 9 or 10 PPR point balls, and to me, just a little hit or miss. In the Raiders game, I like Carr and Crabtree. I like Carr and Cooper. Cooper's due. Cooper's in the Brandon Cook school of due to have a massive game. And I actually would not be opposed to a double stack there. Carr, Cooper, Crabtree. And as I said earlier, you could even throw in Hilton on that and make it a triple stack in that game and hope Vegas knows what they're talking about in that game is a 52.5 plus over. So like Carr, like Crabtree there with in the stack. With Brady, you just don't know who he's going to go to. So Brady is another one you could actually get 5 touchdowns from 5 different people and not have stacked and done better off. A rare non-stack. But if I'm going to stack Brady, it's going to be one with Malcolm Mitchell, one with Edelman. That's it. Because Hogan, similar to Gabriel, 1 or 2 reception, big play kind of guy. Bennett, he's either having a great game or he's blocking and invisible. The backs, White and Lewis, you just don't know whose day it's going to be. So if you get touchdowns from them, then you get the Brady points. But Mitchell and Edelman are PPR, potential 7 to 10 receptions, 100 yards, and touchdown. And to me, those are the 2 guys you want to pair up with. Other than the stack, I don't know how you fade Mike Evans from all your lineups this weekend. He's had 2 off weeks, but now he's playing at New Orleans in a high over-under game against the second worst passing defense in the NFL. And you're just tough to put him out because his ceiling is just so enormous in that game. I don't know if they can guard him. And Tampa's on fire. It's a big game for them. So I do like Mike Evans versus the 31st. Pass D, we talked about Crabtree, obviously. I think Jamison Crowder has had a quieter couple weeks, but this is a good week for him in a slot position. Playing the Bears pass defense is pretty good. I see Crowder putting up 7 or 8 receptions, a touchdown, and 90 yards this week. So I love Jamison Crowder. I do like T.Y. We talked about that with Luck in that game, along with Crabtree, which we just said. And then Michael Thomas. So Brandon Cooks has had 2 or 3 awful weeks. Then he came back and still had a good week, and then an incredible, insane 54-point DraftKings week, game winner, tournament winner last weekend. But I do not think that. Hold on, I lost my video here for 1 second, everybody. So just bear with me. I don't even know where you guys are. There we go. Okay, hopefully I didn't disappear from the screen. So. I think that Michael Thomas comes back and he has a massive week. He is still the go-to over there. And it's at home. That's where Cooks tends to have the big play. But look for Michael Thomas to just explode this weekend at a good price point with Drew Brees. Again, Drew Brees could have a huge week at home. So not one of my top 3, but I will have some lineups with, again, a lot of quarterbacks. And not a bad to keep an eye on Jeffrey and Meredith. They both had good weeks last week. I just don't trust Barkley yet, and I think that's going to be a Jordan Howard game. Jump at the tight end. So I'm going to give you 3 tiers, depending what you can fit into your lineup. You have to kind of mold your lineup around your running backs, your receivers, your stacks, and your quarterback, and then see what defenses and tight ends you can fit in economically, salary-wise. So I do like Greg Olsen against the Falcons. If he plays, keep an eye on his injury. He's now questionable. They say he's going to play. He should have a big game there if he's healthy, but he's really expensive. He's $5,200, and with the injury, not sure I want to go there. But I do think he has a shot to be the best performing tight end. You just got to have a really good game to hit that value at that price point. But sticking to the Cameron Brate bandwagon, and he's done it right. So I love Cameron Brate in the middle tier there, $3,900. against, again, a terrible New Orleans pass defense. He is absolutely the go-to number 2 to Mike Evans for Winston. He looks for him in the red zone all the time. He looks for him on third down. He could catch 6, 7, 8 balls on a touchdown. And then third, I'm going to go back to Jack Doyle just because he's $2,800 in a game that should be a shootout that we talked about. So last week, Eric Swoops came out of nowhere. The week before, Dwayne Allen had 3 touchdowns, but he's a blocking tight end. He's like a 1-yard, 3rd and 1 on the 1. Doyle is still Andrew Luck's second favorite target healthy right now with Moncrief out. It's Hilton, then it's Doyle, period. And he's due for a good week, and he's cheap, and he could get, again, 6 receptions and a touchdown, and he saves you some money. On the defensive front, again, going down, what can you afford? I do love the Patriots against the rookie quarterback at home. The Patriots have given up the least points of any defense in the NFL this season. They're starting to turn the ball over. They're starting to get to the quarterback. Belichick is forming his playoff and Super Bowl defense run. And the Jets are just awful in a bad weather game with a rookie quarterback. And, you just know, I just expect the Patriots to have a couple big plays in that game and pay for that defense. Because remember, touchdowns pay for defense. Special teams, defensive picks, pick sixes pay for defenses. You could have a team give up 30 points on defense but score 2 touchdowns, and that's a home run day. Okay, so I like to look at who's going to score who has a good chance to score a touchdown, who's going to have a few picks, who's going to have a few sacks. In the second tier, I love the Packers, 3,300. Big game, cold weather, in their stadium. Crowd's going to be pumped. Clay Matthews in the middle. And the Vikings with a banged-up Adrian Peterson, iffy. Just Sam Bradford on the road in a big game, freezing weather, low-scoring game. Again, I like the Packers a lot there in the middle tier. And then, this is going to sound a little crazy, and you can't do this if you have Matt Ryan as your quarterback. But the Panthers at $2,500, you say to me, well, I thought you had Matt Ryan's your favorite quarterback this week. He is. And we just talked about this. But the Panthers can score touchdowns on defense. If Luke Kuechly is back, the potential for a Panthers big play, because Matt Ryan does make mistakes. And Ted Ginn does return punts for touchdowns. And Luke Kuechly makes big plays and causes big plays again. So if Kuechly's playing, I kind of like that one better, but it's dirt cheap at $2,500. So if you need to squeeze one in, look at the touchdown. Look at the defense there. They score touchdowns. And yeah, they're probably going to give up a lot of points in a 52 over-under game. But if they can knock one into the end zone and they end up with 10 points, that's great. Once in a while you get lucky and you pick that Chiefs defense a couple weeks ago that does 24 points. But 5 of the last 8 millionaire maker winners have had a defense with under 5 points at the end of the game. So I like to kind of go feast or famine and see who's going to score touchdowns because it's tough to predict who's, not going to give up any points. You could have a team playing great and in garbage time they give up 14 points and you lose all your DraftKings points. So I like to focus on the touchdowns. Let's make it happen week 16.